So Jeff, how do you have a win-win agreement, a win-win in general, with someone you don't know, someone that doesn't believe in a win-win? I'm glad you asked. So there's 5 dimensions of a win-win. I drew them up on the board. We could have done this on Zoom, but I feel like we've had enough webinars, so apologies for keep going to the whiteboard, and the whiteboard is one of my best friends. So if you wondered while listening to the video yesterday, like, yeah, it's great to say, let's have some win-wins, and having those win-wins and going for win-wins when you're dealing with somebody that's a win-lose could be kind of tough. And Stephen Covey agrees. So he created the 5 dimensions of win-win. Whether he created them or not, or just put them in the book, I don't know. Just to point out to you, I did not intentionally make my pyramids grow larger as they moved. And that's kind of cool. So let's keep it. As we look at these 5 dimensions, these all flow together. There's a flow to them. So it starts with character. Imagine that. We keep talking about building on principles, having values. So character is that first point. Believe it or not, and I'm sure you can believe it, you can't have a win-win without integrity. So you've got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your own inherent value, your own self-worth. Again, we defined integrity yesterday as agreeing to making true the words that are coming out of your mouth, that those commitments are sincere. You believe in your own self-worth, and you believe in telling and honoring what you've told other people you were going to do. With that, obviously, honesty is a big part. Then maturity. In the book, he defines maturity as a balance between courage and consideration. I thought that was a neat definition. It's not usually what we think of when we think of maturity, and we're gonna leave that one there. So balance between courage and consideration. It's basically a mindset of growth and development, that as you grow, you're going to be more committed to making sure that we have a win-win. There's also abundance mindset. Many of you that are into self-help or self-growth books, growth and development, would have heard of abundance mindsets quite often. And that's where you believe there's plenty to go around. It's really hard to be committed to a win-win if you don't believe there's enough out there. If you think that only one person can win, only one person can succeed, that if you don't win this deal, there's not going to be anything else that can happen for you good afterwards. So that minimalistic, non-abundance mindset will cause failure in a win-win situation. You have to believe that there is plenty of success, plenty of growth, plenty of wins for everybody. Because again, it's win-win or no deal. If you can't get to a win-win, you got to be able to be willing to walk away. You're not going to be willing to walk away if you think that there's not enough for you out there. Excuse me. So if you have good character, that slides over into that next step, which is relationships. Slide right into the DMs. Because as you build relationships, you start to build that trust. You can have those conversations legitimately, authentically, and not worry about whether or not the other person is trying to take you for a ride. So that takes us back to that initial question, right? Like, how can we have a win-win with somebody we don't know? Well, you don't. You have to have trust. What does that mean? It means like when you're having prospecting calls, when you're trying to have a win-win with a girlfriend, a boyfriend, another friend. Like, if you don't have a good emotional bank account, if you don't have that trust built up, if you are in the negatives, they're not going to trust you to have a win-win. You're not going to trust them to have a win-win. You can't have a win-win without somebody that you haven't built a relationship with and built that foundation of trust. And that takes us over to agreements. Right? We have a good character, we've got good trust, and then we can set some clear expectations, some guidelines, create an agreement that we can all live with and be happy with, and know that we can both mutually benefit and win from. All that sits on top of support systems and processes. We're not really going to go into those. That's really just the nitty gritty of how you're going to define those agreements, how you're going to define the relationships, how you're going to, label and define your characters in the whole win-win process. Probably 20 to 30 pages of stuff we just really don't need to go into when we're talking about the simple aspect of habit building. And again, this fourth habit is think win-win. And when we're thinking about winning, we can know that character and relationships and having clearly defined agreements is really that foundation to thinking win-win. So work on your character, that integrity, maturity, abundance mindset, build those emotional bank accounts, and then make sure that you're having open, honest, clear communication with each other in order to understand where everybody is coming from. So that way the commitment you made, that in the win-win conversation, that integrity commitment that you made, you can hold to, because everybody is under the same understanding as to what's expected between each other. So that's it. That's it for today. Hope you all are doing well with this. Hope you all are enjoying it. We've only got a few days left in the challenge, and by a few, less than, well, I don't know, man, I think we're on like day 59 for the videos for the series. I mean, I've done over that in videos because we threw some other ones in there, but day 59, which means we've got like a week left on our 66-day habit challenge. So that's awesome. It's exciting. I'll show you all my calendar again soon, but I thought some of the video content was more important. All right, have a great day. See you all soon.